When you think about Europe's big capital cities, maybe Sofia doesn't jump out first.
Maybe not for everyone.
But, consider this. It's actually one of the oldest capitals on the continent.
That's a great point. Ancient.
Yeah. You've got these ancient Roman ruins kind of whispering next to Ottoman history, and then boom, this really dynamic modern city laid right over it.
And that mix, that interplay, is really what we're digging into today, isn't it?
Exactly.
Because you've pulled together some fantastic info for us. We've got stuff from locals, seasoned travelers, some really knowledgeable guides, too.
Right. And the goal here is basically to boil all that down for you, our listeners, give you a clear picture of the essential things that make Sofia.
Make it compelling.
Think of this as your shortcut, yeah. Your fast track to getting Sofia. We're not just hitting the big tourist spots, but also trying to find those, authentic bits, the surprising details.
Get a real feel for the city's character.
Yeah, forget scrolling forever online. We'll walk you through the highlights, show you why this blend of old and new is actually pretty special. So where do we kick off? Landmarks feels right.
Definitely. Got to start with the icons. And for Sofia, that almost certainly means the St. Alexander Nevsky Cathedral.
Oh, for sure. That's the postcard shot, isn't it?
It really is.
Our sources all agree it's the most famous landmark.
Yeah.
And the size of it, it's the biggest cathedral in the Balkans.
Huge. We're talking, what, over 34,000 square feet?
Yeah. And built between 1882 and 1912. Imagine finishing that back then. Quite a statement for Bulgaria after independence.
Absolutely. And the style, that Neo-Byzantine look, is so striking.
Those domes, right, the gold and green ones.
Exactly. Very characteristic. They have this sort of cascading effect. And inside, wow, the frescoes are incredibly detailed, lots of biblical scenes, really rich artwork.
And it's pretty accessible, too. Free to get in, which is always nice.
Always bonus.
Just a little heads up, though. If you want to take photos inside, there's a fee. About $5.30, according to our info.
Good to know.
And maybe try to go before 10 a.m. Sources say it gets less crowded then, bit more peaceful.
Makes sense. Okay, so sticking with impressive buildings, another really interesting one is the central mineral baths.
Ah, yes, the baths. Another place that tells a story about Sofia's past.
For sure. Early 20th century building, this one. And you can really see Sofia as this, cultural crossroads in its architecture.
How so?
Well, you've got the Neo-Byzantine touches, domes, arches, but mixed with Eastern Orthodox elements and even some, Viennese flair. Very ornate. You can picture it back when the mineral pools were open. Must have been quite the social hub.
Sounds amazing. It's a bit sad the baths themselves aren't working like they used to.
It is. But the area is still really popular. There's a nice park around it, and people still go to that hot mineral water fountain. A little link to the past.
And importantly, it houses the Regional History Museum of Sofia now, right?
That's the key thing, yeah. While the building itself is stunning, the museum gives you the context. It's open Tuesday to Sunday.
And what's inside?
Oh, all sorts. You get a real deep dive into Sofia's history, old weapons, traditional clothes, photos, local crafts. Helps you connect the buildings with the actual people and events.
Okay, so we've got these grander, relatively more recent places, but let's go way back now. Potentially to the oldest structure in the city, the St. George Rotunda Church.
Ah, the Rotunda, yes. What's incredible here is just how old it is.
Really old.
Possibly 4th century. It's thought to be the oldest building still standing in Sofia. Just imagine everything it's seen.
Wow. That's mind-blowing, actually. Our info describes it as this quite simple red brick rotunda with a dome.
Pretty unassuming from the outside, yeah. But inside, you find these amazing Roman Byzantine frescoes, floral patterns, too. Really beautiful detail.
And free entry again.
Free entry. You can just step inside this piece of ancient history. And it's not just the church itself. It's part of a bigger archaeological complex. You can see bits of old Roman streets, foundations of a basilica nearby. It's like peeling back layers of history right there.
Amazing. So, from grand cathedrals to these quiet, ancient spots, Sofia's got the landmark side covered. But, a city isn't just buildings. We need some green space, some nature. Let's talk about Vitosha Mountain.
Yes. Vitosha is such a huge asset for Sofia, this massive mountain range right on the doorstep.
How close are we talking?
Less than an hour's drive from the center.
Yeah.
And it looms over the city, over 7,500 feet high.
Wow. So perfect for hiking, skiing.
Exactly. Great trails for hiking in summer, proper skiing in winter. It's a real playground.
And getting there sounds easy enough. Bus 61 from under Lover's Bridge. Runs often.
Yep, pretty straightforward. Or if you prefer something more organized, there are tours. We saw one mentioned like a 7-hour snowshoeing trip in winter.
Oh, and they provide the gear.
Yeah, equipment included. You just go and enjoy the snow and those incredible views back down over Sofia.
Sounds fantastic. A proper escape.
Definitely. But if you want green space without leaving the city center, then you've got City Park.
Okay, City Park. Now, our sources mention Borsova Gradina Park is bigger.
It is, technically. But City Park, founded way back in 1872, has this lovely central location right off Tsar Osvoboditelь Boulevard. Super convenient.
And what's the vibe like?
Very relaxed, quite charming, quiet paths, some nice traditional architecture dotted around,
Yeah.
just generally picturesque, a good spot to just, sit and unwind.
And there's more than just benches, right? The Sofia City Art Gallery is in there.
That's right. Apparently holds thousands of paintings focusing on Bulgarian art, over 3,700 pieces mentioned.
And something about fountains.
Ah, yes, near the National Theater. They're illuminated in the evening. Our sources said it's quite enchanting to see.
Nice. So relaxation and a bit of culture right in the middle of things. Okay, let's shift gears again. Culture and entertainment. What's good, especially, say, for families? Museko sounds interesting.
Oh, Musico's great. It's described as the biggest science center for kids in Eastern Europe. That's pretty impressive.
Biggest in Eastern Europe. Wow, how big?
35,000 square feet.
Yeah.
And packed with over 130 interactive exhibits.
Interactive is key for kids, isn't it?
Totally. And they've cleverly themed the levels, past, present, and future. So it's like a journey. Kids can learn about archaeology, space, construction, climate, lots of different stuff, all hands-on.
Making learning fun, basically. And they have cafes and loos, practicality sorted.
Yep, all catered for. And the price seems reasonable, around $6.40. Open most days, too, Tuesday to Sunday.
Yeah.
Definitely a solid family option.
Okay, now for something completely different, a real-time warp, the Red Flat.
Yes. This is such a unique concept. It looks like a normal apartment from the outside.
But inside?
Inside, it's meticulously set up to look exactly like an average Bulgarian family's home in the 1980s, during the communist period. Like stepping into a time capsule.
And you can actually touch things. It's not just looking.
Exactly. Our sources highlighted that. You're encouraged to open drawers, flick through magazines, listen to the radio from the era, sit on the sofa. It's properly immersive.
That sounds fascinating. A very different way to experience history. About $9.35 entry.
Around that, yeah. And open daily. Definitely memorable.
Okay. Back to the present day now. A walk down Boulevard Vitosha seems like a must-do.
Absolutely essential. It's the main pedestrian shopping street. Runs for, about 1.6 miles?
Yeah, and named after the mountain, Vitosha. Apparently you get great views of it from the street on a clear day.
You do. Adds a nice backdrop. It's the place for shopping, obviously. Big international brands like H&M, sneaker shops, local stores too.
And food. Lots of places to eat.
Loads of cafes and restaurants. We saw one mentioned, Fatherland 1939, does Bulgarian and international food. Something for everyone. Plus, it's near other things like the National Palace of Culture. Good place to just stroll and soak up the modern city vibe.
Right. So from shopping to animals, the Sofia Zoo, another family-friendly one, but, zoos are kind of timeless.
And this one's significant. Oldest and largest zoo in the Balkans.
Really? How big?
Pretty vast, 89 acres, and loads of animals, over 2,400, for more than 300 species. You could easily spend a good chunk of the day there.
Our info suggests grabbing a map is a good idea.
Definitely. So you don't miss things. They mention some highlights like Amur tigers.
African lions.
And galar gibbons. Those agile monkeys.
Sounds good. And super cheap entry, too. Just a couple of dollars.
Great value.
Yeah.
Okay, switching focus again. For the sports fans watching CSKA Sofia play football.
Ah, yeah. Tap into that local passion. Apparently, they're the most successful club in Bulgaria.
Historically, yes.
31
31 league titles, which is huge. And they even had good runs in Europe back in the day, a couple of European Cup semifinals.
Yeah.
Real pedigree.
Where do they play?
At the Vasilevsky National Stadium. Good
Sure.
place. And getting tickets sounds pretty easy. Often just turn up on match day.
And cheap.
Incredibly cheap by, say, UK standards. Season tickets were mentioned starting around $17. Very accessible way to see top-flight football.
Amazing. Okay, something totally different again, and maybe my favorite idea. The Balkan Bites tour?
Oh, the food tour.
The free food tour sounds brilliant.
And they claim to be maybe the first free food tour in Europe, which is quite something.
So what's the deal? They just walk you around places?
Yeah, pretty much. The idea is to introduce you to Bulgarian food by taking you to local family-run spots, like Sofia's first soup bar was mentioned, and a traditional Bulgarian restaurant called Hadji Dragonovite Izby.
And you get samples, like banitsa.
Yes. Banitsa, that cheesy pastry, absolutely.
Yeah.
Stuffed grape leaves, too, and makitsa, the fried dough breakfast thing.
Yeah. Sounds like a great way to taste the local stuff and learn a bit. Runs daily. 2 hours.
Yep, daily at 2 p.m., lasts about 2 hours. Easy to fit in. Great way to find your feet and get some snacks.
Can't beat free snacks. Okay, one last major suggestion, this one involving leaving the city for a bit. A day trip to Rila Monastery.
Ah, Rilla. This comes highly, highly recommended. It sounds absolutely essential if you have the time.
It's the biggest and most famous monastery in Bulgaria, right? Super old.
That's it. Founded way back in the 10th century, 927-941. And it was hugely important during the Ottoman period, a real center of Bulgarian culture and faith.
And the location sounds stunning, high up in the mountains.
Beautiful setting, 3,763 feet up in the Rila Mountains. The monastery complex itself is huge, 21.4 acres, and the architecture, wow. Those domed roofs, the arched balconies with tiles, and the frescoes.
Vibrant frescoes, they said.
Incredibly vibrant, covering the walls inside and out. It's apparently a visual feast.
And the best way to get there is probably a tour.
Seems the most convenient, yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of detours from Sofia combine Rila Monastery with a visit to Bojana Church nearby, which is also famous for its medieval frescoes. Makes for a really rich cultural day out.
Wow. Okay, so listening back to all that, Sofia really packs a punch, doesn't it?
It really does. You've got this incredible depth of history from the Rotunda right up to the 20th century. Amazing architecture, both religious and secular.
Then the easy access to stunning nature like Vitosha.
Right, and this really engaging modern cultural scene, too, with unique things like the Red Flat, the food tour, the art gallery. It genuinely feels like there's something for almost everyone.
So, just to wrap up our deep dive here, Sofia clearly offers this surprisingly rich tapestry of things to see and do. You've got the grandeur of St. Alexander Nevsky, the deep history of the mineral baths and the rotunda, the natural beauty of Vitosha, fun stuff like Museko. It covers a lot of ground.
We really hope this has given you, the listener, a good head start, a solid foundation for understanding what makes Sofia tick.
Yeah, a useful shortcut through all the info out there.
Absolutely. And now we really encourage you to dig deeper into whatever caught your ear. Maybe look up more photos of the real frescoes, check out hiking routes on Vitosha, maybe even browse the menu at that Fatherland 1939 place on Boulevard Vitosha.
Or perhaps start planning an actual trip.
Why not? There's so much more detail to uncover.
And that brings us to a final thought, really. Cities like Sofia that manage to weave together centuries of history with this vibrant, modern pulse. There's something really captivating about them.
There is.
So maybe think about this. What is it about that blend, that constant conversation between the past and the present in a city that you find most interesting or valuable? Something to chew on as you explore the world.